started by asking you that 3 years IPL was in a bubble. You played in the bubble for a long time.
Yeah.
Must have been very, very tough. How does it feel to get back to real cricket with stadium and Chinnaswamy screaming?
It's actually, the first game seemed unbelievable to me. You know, you almost forget the memory of driving to the stadium with so many people outside the ground. And this the one interesting thing Glenn Maxwell said to me after he saw that. He said, I know the situation was unbelievably tough and, you know, everyone was suffering all over. And we had to continue to play, which was, again, for me, quite a difficult period because I was like, this doesn't seem right. Not because there are not people in the stadiums, but in general, you know, everyone's kind of trying to just get by, and here we're playing a sport. Just felt odd. So when we returned to normal, that's one thing he said. He said, I can't believe we played in empty stadiums for so long. Yeah. The fans are the essence of the game, especially seeing the passion of the fans of RCB. IPL always has been a special tournament. So when I saw those people outside the stadiums and the lead up, I got all the videos of the lead up to the game as well, like the queues for tickets and the frenzy that was in the city. I was buzzing. I was like, I just want to get to Bangalore. And when we landed as well, when they saw me at the airport, I could just see happiness in their eyes to see me back playing for RCB in Bangalore. So yeah, it was more like a fairy tale comeback for us. You know, played the perfect game also. But yeah, just the whole atmosphere was something that I realized that day how special it has been to have all those fans cheer for us for so many years, only because we had a situation where we couldn't see any of them. Yeah. So I had more gratitude and I was very thankful that I have this opportunity to play in front of such amazing fans.
Was it tough for you to be in the bubble?
Personally, it was very tough for me. Not that I like to go out a lot, but just the sense of not being able to step out from certain places, it was confining me in a way that it wasn't healthy at all. Plus, there were many things that were happening in the background when it came to cricket with me, which eventually came to the surface later for everyone to know. So no one knew at the time what I'm going through. And in general, I mean, you know, we had our daughter, and just not being able to take her out and show her the world was also very tough on us. So yeah, the bubble, I don't know how people reacted to it, but personally I was not in a good space in the bubble. And after the bubble as well, I realized, not that, as I said, I'm not hanging out every, you know, going for dinners and, you know, get-togethers or anything. Just the fact that you can go to the lobby area of a hotel and just have a cup of coffee in normalcy, yeah, or just sit by the pool and you see random people around you, not, you know, confined spaces, and it was just like, yeah, you're part of everything. Just that bit was so important, and I realized that later. Yeah, the bubble was very difficult.
Let me, for those who are the uninitiated, Virat has a very strong business mind, and I'm going to explore that a bit today. And you know, he doesn't believe this, but I said that, you know, leadership in the most tough, you know, being the captain of the Indian team that he has been for the longest time, for so many years, it's one of the most difficult leadership roles available, right? I mean, so much of pressure. So I'm going to ask him a few related questions, but before I get to it, like this team you see, and few of them are watching online who are not in the city, not here. This is the #1 sports, lifestyle, fashion brand in the country. My question that I have for me from the sidelines, what do you see? What is the reason for this journey of Puma and the success?
My heart's beating fast because I've already said it to you backstage. You should sign me at the right time. No. That was just a joke. That was just a joke. In all seriousness, you spoke about business, and I know that a lot of hard work goes behind planning, preparation. a forecast of what's going to, be successful in the months to come. That's how we used to plan our structures as well. We always laid down a culture which was going to be healthy. It was never a planning of 7 days, 8 days, 10 days. It was all, I honestly had a vision of 7 or 8 years for Indian cricket to dominate all over the world. And I knew exactly what needs to be done to get there. So clarity was important, preparation, but the most important thing was commitment. If people who were in that room did not commit to the vision that's laid, it means nothing. And the commitment doesn't happen in front of your boss. The commitment happens when you're by yourself. That's how you create culture. So, and that is where the skill is required to create that much trust that when you're sitting by yourself, are you still thinking of taking things forward and progressing in a way that your own behaviors, your own ethics, morality, everything comes into play. Because the easiest thing to do is when you're by yourself is to not align to the vision. And if people are aligning to the vision when you're not watching them, is the real success of leadership, I feel. That's something that I saw happen in the Indian cricket team as well. So, yeah, to see the brand where it is today, some amazing decisions obviously have been taken. When we had this conversation initially, I was with a couple of other brands which were quite prominent in India at the beginning, but they started fading away pretty quickly, and I understood why. Because I gave them a vision which they didn't align to. I told them my career is growing and I want to be able to create something of my own with a big brand in India so that we can grow together. That's how I'll be invested in the business myself, and I'll be thinking about how to take the brand forward rather than just being a face on the billboard with some of the global athletes. That meant nothing to me. So when we started our conversation as well, the first and the only condition was, are you ready to collaborate and do something which is something personalized but also will help the brand grow? And they immediately said, give us a big bag of what you wear and we'll do it. Like, it was that instant. So I think the ability to take those decisions, obviously there's a sense of uncertainty. I wouldn't say that there's a sense of doubt, but you're not certain whether it's going to work or not. So what I've seen Puma do over the last 6-7 years is take bold decisions. Now when I see the ambassadors all over the world, you don't have people who fall in the perfect category of, people who should be looked at as, I wouldn't say role models, but you've signed people who are very different. If you talk about a Neymar or you talk about a Hamilton being with Puma for so long, these are not people that you look at and say, this guy goes by the book. And I think that's been the most important factor which I've seen for growth. I'm not a guy who was looked at as this guy looks like, wow, he does everything by the book. I was probably hated more than anything initially in my starting years. But eventually, my conviction of what I wanted to do turned out to be inspiration for people. And I think that's what Puma has done, to be convinced about their own ways, that we can make an identity of our own following what we believe in. And that shows you that anything is possible in your own very unique ways. It doesn't matter whether they fall into the norms of society or the benchmarks that we are judged by. There are no benchmarks that exist. And I think the disruption of that culture is what has caused the uprise, and now there's no competition at all. So I feel glad that that the people who are looked at as different, Puma looked at as few of their own, and I think that's made all the difference for me.